am not sure how this is gonna turn out. I may have to end up getting new countertops. I went from having crazy texture to lines. It looked like a zebra. This has been a nightmare project. Are you thinking about doing a kitchen makeover on a budget, but want to avoid a major DIY disaster? Then you've got to watch this video, which is part 2 of my series on how not to paint your kitchen countertops. In part 1 of the series, I showed you how I basically wrecked my kitchen countertops. They became all kinds of bumpy, textured, and dimply. Definitely not good. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how I tried to fix my kitchen countertops every step of the way, and I'm gonna show you another huge issue that I encountered. But you're gonna have to watch until the end to see if I was able to salvage my kitchen countertops or if this became a total replacement situation. So let's pick up right where we left off in part 1. Okay guys, I am at a crucial point in the project. I have really messed up my kitchen countertops. I am not sure that they're salvageable, and I want to bring you guys along for this entire journey. Basically, I was following the instructions from Heirloom Traditions. I put down the base layer, I put down the marble look veining, and then you're supposed to put on this coat of whitewash. And the whitewash, the issue is it kept drying so quick that I started freaking out. They show you're supposed to paint it on with a brush and then wipe it off with a cloth. That was definitely not working. I think it's too dry here in San Diego. And also I was doing too large of an area and it just wasn't getting smooth. I started using their foam applicator, but what happened with that is that because it was so dry here, it did not dry smooth. Let me show you guys. My countertops are definitely very textured. They are definitely not smooth, and I'm kind of freaking out right now. I'm gonna try to get as close as I can here, but basically there is a very rough surface from when the applicator went on. There is a lot of texture on here. It's very rough to the touch and dimpled, but it's definitely, it is not smooth at all. I think my fatal mistake was I should have done the roller brush, which is this thing, after I applied the paint, and should have made it smooth and rolled this out. I did not do that. If you guys do this, make sure you do the roller brush to make it completely smooth after you paint. And what am I gonna do right now? Let me show you what I'm doing. Right now I am taking the sandpaper. I got ultra fine sandpaper, 400 grit, and I'm sanding these countertops. I have been sanding my entire countertops. I am like sweating right now. I emailed the Heirloom Traditions people and I was like, what do I do? My countertops have all this texture on them. My husband is really mad at me. I basically ruined my countertops, and they said, okay, remain calm. You should take some ultrafine sandpaper and lightly sand it to try to get rid of the texture. It is working, but it is a lot of work. My arms are like spaghetti right now. I feel so tired. I've been sanding. I was up till 12:30 last night sanding. I was up today sanding. And so we're gonna try to sand this out and try to get it smooth again. The good thing is it's not taking off the paint. It's just taking off the texture. And then I'm gonna take a microfiber cloth and get rid of all the little pieces. I am not sure how this is gonna turn out. I may have to end up getting new countertops. I'm afraid to use too coarse of a grit sandpaper because I'm afraid it's gonna take off the paint. Basically I have to sand and I have to just feel it by touch to see, does it feel smooth or not, or is it still coarse? This is still coarse right here, so I'm just attacking it section by section and trying to get it smooth again. This is quite the process, and I really can't believe this has happened. I don't think they really emphasize the importance of having that roller step, and I am feeling like I ruined my countertops. I'm gonna try to sand it. I would say this project is probably for a more advanced DIYer. I felt I was pretty advanced DIYer, and I've done so much painting. I painted my whole kitchen myself, all the cabinets and everything, and I just don't know what went wrong other than maybe the climate is too dry here and it made the paint dry. I feel like almost I need to rip out my entire kitchen. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I just wanted to make sure I included this part of the video so you guys realize doing a DIY project, it's not always peaches and roses. It doesn't always go as you planned, and sometimes you gotta fix your mistakes. I'm gonna show you some of the veining. I have sanded everything. I feel like it's gotten much smoother, and we're gonna add a little more veining and then do a coat of the whitewash over it and see how it goes. I put the paint on, it's 2 parts of the cobblestone with 1 part of the glaze, and I put it on the middle part of the vein. I found that is the best way to get a more exact amount of veining. I already have some veining here, but I'm putting another layer of veining because with real marble, there are a lot of layers. Just go like this, very lightly. But the key is you gotta roll it. Every layer you put, you have to roll it immediately to make it smooth. It's okay if it gets smeared because that's what makes it look more realistic. You have some kind of darker, more prominent veins, and you have some lighter color, and that's what's gonna make it look more real. I call this my island, but it's really like my coffee bar. This turned out pretty good. I sanded it, I added the veining, and I also did that coat of whitewash. It is a little uneven. I didn't get it perfect. I'm gonna do probably 1 more coat of the whitewash. I think it looks pretty good. From far away, look at that. It doesn't look bad, people. I feel like it's pretty equivalent to quartz, but we'll see how the final product comes out. Here is the whitewash antiquing gel, and here is this special brush that they use. And then I've also got my roller. Remember, any paint you apply, you must apply the roller immediately after to make it smooth and get rid of the brush strokes. So I'm just putting a very small amount of the whitewash on my brush. I'm gonna work in a very small section here. And so it's just making a wash over the surface here, and then I'm gonna roll it out to get all of the brush strokes out. I'm just trying to provide an extra coat to bury those veins into the stone, quote unquote, and that is going to make it look really realistic. You can apply as many coats as you want. I wanted to show you guys what the counter looks like after I did 2 sessions of veining, and I did 2 coats of the white wash, and I rolled it both times. I wanted to show you guys this. See how there's some veining and it's very faint, which that's how I wanted. You really have a lot of leeway here on how you want to do this. You can make it as bold of veining you want, or you can make it really light like I did. I just thought that the lighter would be better. There is an additional step where you can put whitewash on the veining stamp and add some additional dimension. I'm just going to add the whitewash onto my veining stamp, a very light coat, and then we're going to stamp it onto the gray veins, and it basically adds an additional element of texture. I have my whitewash on here, and we're just gonna stamp it. I just like it in the middle, and I do think this is a cool effect, but you gotta make sure you roll it out because otherwise you will have ridges and it will not look good. I think this is a pretty good technique because it's adding an extra layer of white over that dark gray veining. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit more of the whitewash step. You just put a little bit on and start in a very small area, and you're gonna just wipe it on your small area as evenly as possible, and then we're gonna roll it immediately. Here it is after 1 coat of the whitewash. You can see some of this is still pretty dark. I'm definitely gonna do another coat of the whitewash. I had some smears here when I was rolling, so I need to make sure I get those covered up somehow. I'm gonna use that stamper to do some white stamping over this veining so it looks more natural. It gets hidden under some layers of the paint. All right, so I am now on, I think, day 7 or day 8 of my project, and I wanted to tell you guys about another issue that I had. So I basically had sanded my countertops, painted them again using this brush and roll method that they recommend. But when I got to this area, for some reason, I started getting what are called lap lines, which are these lines in the paint from when one section overlapped with another. I had emailed Heirloom Traditions about my first issue, and they said, you need to work in small sections and you need to work quick. I was painting really small sections, and as the sections overlapped, it created a line. I literally, and I'll put video here, I had lines all along here that were lines of paint. I went from having crazy texture to lines. It looked like a zebra. And so I emailed them again, and I was like, what do I do to get rid of these lines? And they basically said that you should sand it and start over again. I have sanded this a second time, and now I'm going to try painting it again. What is really weird is that the other two areas of my counters are fine. They did not have any lines, and they're actually not too bad. I am pretty happy with this. I think it does look very realistic, but we're gonna try to paint it again today. I'll show you guys what I do, and hopefully this time it works because I'm not sanding it down again. And however this turns out, it's just gonna be how the countertops are gonna be. Wish me luck. If you're thinking about doing your own kitchen makeover project and that's why you're watching this video, I've got a great free resource for you. It's my kitchen budget worksheet, and it's gonna help you figure out how much your project will cost because it has pretty much everything that you might need to spend money on outlined on it, and you can fill this out and help figure out how much your project's gonna cost. So get your copy today for free at pennymodern.com/kitchen, and that link is down in the description. So this is gonna be my third time painting these countertops. I've had to sand them twice, and I'm really hoping this is the last time, but this has been a nightmare project. I think I'm already on day 8 of not having my countertops. Wanted to show you guys the technique I've settled on. I am doing this True Applicator sponge, and I am applying it very lightly, trying to get a little more coverage where I sanded. After I apply this, I am basically rolling it out. That's what I did wrong at the beginning. I did not roll it after doing this applicator, and so it left it really bumpy. But now I've learned my lesson, and I'm going to do the roller after I do this, and it should make it smooth. So we will see. And I'm trying to keep a wet edge, and I'm going well over the 2 edges so that I don't get those lines. Wish me luck. Hoping this is the final one. Now I'm gonna do my dry roller. This does seem to be working because it's smooth. I don't see any lines, and I'm trying to work really quick here. So I'm doing the sponge, going over the other area I already did, and then we're gonna roll. I've learned a lot from doing this. The third time has gotta be the charm, right? I was up till 12:30 last night doing the painting here to try to get it all done. The technique that worked the best, because I needed to provide a lot of coverage because I had sanded and it looked not very good. I used the True Applicator sponge, which is this round sponge, followed by the roller for the whitewash, and that helped give me quite a bit of coverage. And I think if I had done the True Applicator sponge followed by this roller from the very beginning when I had done the whitewash, it would have saved me a ton of trouble because you just need to get that very smooth finish. So I'm gonna show you guys the end result. I am pretty happy with it, but at this point I just have to stop painting. It's pretty hard to see on the camera, but here is some of the veining. You can see a little bit. I ended up putting so many coats of white on this bad boy. I feel like it looks pretty natural. It looks like quartz or something. It's not completely off. And here is my other side. This has a little bit darker veining, but I did not want to start painting again. I was pretty happy. Here is the other one. And I could have used a little bit more white over here, but I just decided to call it a day. I do feel like it looks better. I like it better than the granite. It was very inexpensive. It was just very time consuming. And then you can see my little coffee bar over here. So you can see the veining here. Once you do all your painting, you have to wait 2 days, 48 hours, and then put on your clear coat. The clear coat I got was satin, which is also by Heirloom Traditions, and it's a water resistant sealer. You have to put 3 thin coats on of this 3 hours apart. So you paint, wait 2 days, and then you do your sealer, and then you have to wait an additional 3 days. So you can see this is a very lengthy process, which has been like a nightmare. And all this sanding, it's probably gonna take me 2 weeks to paint my countertops, which is very inconvenient considering how much you use your countertops in your kitchen. I would definitely say this is not a beginner project. This is not an easy project. I don't think I would do this project again. Maybe I would do it on a small bathroom vanity for a bathroom that I don't need to use. But let's do the top coat. I loaded up my brush with a very thin amount, and I'm gonna do my edges, and then I'm basically gonna slop it on here and do maybe a 6-inch area at a time. We're gonna keep this line wet. So that means you gotta work really fast to make sure you don't have any lap lines. And then you're gonna take your roller and roll it out. So I'm gonna roll all those lines away, because we don't want any lap lines. Now we are in the home stretch because we are doing our top coat. After you do the top coat, you just have to wait 3 days, and then you can use your countertops again. This top coat will be waterproof. You can get them wet, you can clean them. The recommendation from Heirloom Traditions is to not use any abrasive cleaners. That means probably a magic eraser, like a coarse scrubber, or Comet, or anything like a baking soda with granules in it. You definitely don't want to use that. It is pretty sensitive even with the top coat. I will make sure that I do an update 6 months or a year after having these countertops, another video. Make sure you hit subscribe for that. Overall, I am very satisfied with how they look. I think it's an improvement over the granite. Do I think it's something that's gonna last 10 years? I don't think so. We'll see if it lasts 6 months. We're going to be doing a total renovation of our kitchen because our cabinets are pretty much shot. I don't need it to last that long. But I do like how the veining turned out. I think it's very authentic looking. You can see here, it was just too much of a process. It was 2 weeks of not having a countertop, and I just don't know that I would do this again. But I do like how it turned out. I wanted to just show you guys one more time how it turned out. I think it is really pretty. It is hard to see. I'm gonna try to get close-ups here of the veining. You can see on this side, it is pretty light. I think it looks really nice, especially with my Abbey Gray cabinets. They're each a little different, which honestly I feel like makes it more authentic when you have real marble slabs. Not all of them are gonna be the same. There are gonna be some variations and differences between the slabs. So I think from far away, it does look at least like quartz. That's my opinion. Let me know in the comments below if you think, at least from far away, this looks like a quartz countertop, or if you think, no way, this looks like cheesy painted countertops. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, if you want to see how I painted my kitchen cabinets, because I will make sure I show you some before and after pictures. I really transformed this kitchen. Everything was brown and beige, and now everything is beautiful gray and white, and then this beautiful wood color. So if you want to see my video on painting my kitchen cabinets when I painted them Abbey Gray with Heirloom Traditions, then you gotta watch this next video right here, and I'll see you in that next video.